Hey guys, welcome back to another PS2 Memories video. Here we are taking a look at a budget style game by the name of Radio Helicopter that was released for the PlayStation 2 back in 2003. The game also did get a subsequent release in Japan originally under the Simple 2000 series. And if you're not familiar with that series of games, it's also similar to the Simple 1500 or the Super Light series that was also on the PS1, where smaller companies and independent developers were able to explore and get their foot in the door pretty much with game development for consoles at the time. So this is one of those games that would have been highlighted as a budget type of game back in the day. And it definitely is a different style of game from what you would be very used to playing on the system, where the gameplay for the most part starts off with a kid that gets a remote control helicopter for his birthday. And the premise of the game is that you utilise the helicopter to explore different environments throughout the game that start off primarily inside of the kid's house, and you explore until you get to the outside, where you can free roam around different areas and environments, but just know that you're confined to the area that you're in. And with each of the missions in the game, you are tasked to complete certain objectives and to find items that can help you progress until the end of the stage. So once you've completed all the objectives inside of the stage, you will have then completed the mission. So missions can be based around finding items that are located in secret type of environments or located in different areas, or you may have timed events where you have to collect the likes of stars and land your helicopter on certain areas without crashing within a time period. So there's a lot of unique characteristics and twists in the game. The game itself does have somewhat of a story, but the story is all pretty much based around the missions in the game, as with each of the tasks involved it does progress as the game goes on. And there are many different types of environments in the game, all starting off from the player's house all the way through to different types of like city streets, swimming pool, and a load of other variety of areas within the game itself, and each of them have their own unique missions where you can complete different objectives as such, with some of the missions having some quite obscure and unusual objectives to complete, but it all adds to the fun and unique element of the game itself. Now, although with the gameplay style, this type of game may not be for everybody, as the gameplay does take a bit of getting used to, especially if you're not used to the controls or even the likes of flight simulation games, as it can be a little bit on the fiddly side to get used to how everything works, and it does take some time to understand the missions and even how to get around certain areas to explore, but even how to engage in missions as such. But when you do grasp the concept of the game, it is quite fun to play. And yes, it is very different. That's the one thing about it. But that's the cool thing about these budget type of games. Even though the quality of them wouldn't have been as good compared to more mainstream games, there's definitely elements in them that definitely stand out, which does make them appealing in their own right. As developers at the time, because they were trying out different ideas, these games provided a perfect platform for developers to utilise and to try out different ideas to see what worked and see what didn't. And more often than not, a lot of these unique elements definitely appealed and took off, because a lot of the elements you would see in these type of games, you never would have seen them in the more mainstream and higher budget type of games. So to see them in something like this is quite a unique touch, and it definitely changes the whole aspect of how you see games being played. But it does take a bit of getting used to, that I will admit. But it is up to yourself how you perceive playing these type of games. If you are into flight simulators and you like controlling the likes of helicopters where you can move around different types of environments, you may have a bit of fun with this game. The gameplay is pretty straightforward for the most part, and if you allow yourself to sit down with it, it is fun, and there is a lot of unique and funny elements in the game, as long as you're willing to continue to play it, to go through the missions and complete all the objectives. You will have quite a bit of fun with this game that will keep you busy for quite a few hours at least. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this game if you have played it yourself, and if so, what do you think of it? Have you actually played this game yourself, or did you even know anything about it? Be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more of these type of games where I do explore more of these budget style games that were also released on the PS2, then be sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon to be updated when future videos are released. And also be sure to check out these videos here on screen, where I do explore a lot more of these budget style games that were also released on the PS2 back in the day. So be sure to check them out, and I will see you all over in the next one.